Former Army Chief General Narwane's unreleased memoir, Rahul accuses Prime Minister of passing the buck even as top minister slam him for disregarding parliamentary rules and conventions. Disallowed to speak inside the House, Rahul targets Prime Minister outside the Parliament, accuses the government of being scared of the truth, says what happened to 56-inch chest when China was standing in front. Central Defence detaining Ladakhi activist Sonam Wangchuk under stringent National Security Act, accuses him of creating Nepal and Bangladesh-like situation in Nepal and giving separatist calls in the name of protest. Top government sources exclusively tell CNN News 18 that the Sports Ministry is set to take tough action against the Equestrian Federation of India and harassment-accused coach Colonel Tarsaim. Ministry may disband EFI board and ask court to appoint ad hoc panel to run the federation. After high drama on the streets of Delhi, Mamata Banerjee-led delegation meets Chief Election Commissioner Gyanesh Kumar to demand rollback of the SIR exercise in West Bengal. Pakistan government announces boycott of India match in T20 World Cup, faces backlash over the political call. ICC warns Pakistan that selective participation undermines sports integrity and could trigger serious long-term cricket consequences. Pakistan Defence Minister Khwaja Asif says India has held the ICC hostage. Explosive Epstein Files accuse Trump of raping 13-year-old and murdering a newborn. White House dismisses the claims as false, defamatory and politically motivated. Another Kashmiri shawl seller assaulted, this time in Himachal, threatened to leave. This is the fourth such incident, raising alarm over targeted harassment of traders. Also, TVK Chief Vijay responds to EPS's jibe of just being an actor, says the same was said about MGR as well. Calls AIADMK, the junior partner in Tamil Nadu NDA alliance, declaring the upcoming polls a three-way contest between DMK, TVK and the BJP. Let's begin with the top focus story here on The Nation at 5, as there's been a massive showdown in the T20 World Cup. And that continues this after Pakistan has officially announced that it will not be playing its much anticipated match against India in Colombo on Friday, February 15th. Pakistan, in fact, has confirmed that it will continue participating in the tournament that is scheduled to take place between 7th of February to 8th of March. The ICC has now reacted very sharply, saying that selective participation undermines the integrity of the sport, and it has also gone on to urge the PCB to find a mutually acceptable solution. ICC sources have also told CNN News 18 that Pakistan could go on and face serious consequences, including major revenue losses, sanctions, ranking implications and also setbacks to future bilateral series. Now, after this boycott move by Pakistan, the Defence Minister of the country, Khwaja Asif, has now gone on to play the victim card. He's claimed that India has held the ICC as hostage. He's also said that cricket is no longer a gentleman's game and sports should not be sacrificed for business interests.
देखिए, ये बड़ा आईसीसी का स्टेटमेंट आया है जिसमें उन्होंने खेल भावना को लेके कहा है, तो हम पूरी तरह आईसीसी से सहमत हैं, और लेकिन हम बीसीसीआई इस पर भी कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करेगी जब तक आईसीसी से हमारी बातचीत ना हो जाए.
So this is the big question that we are asking. Will the ICC be cracking the whip as far as Pakistan is concerned? Let's take a look first at the PCB stance so far. We are in fact looking at the boycott, which is a strategic protest by Pakistan against ICC's, what they have called it, double standards. Now, ICC in turn is speaking about the issue, how it can go on and lead up to the stern warning that it has registered with Pakistan, the PCB. It's also stated that this selective participation is something, sort of a precedence that it doesn't want setting, and that's why it has warned Pakistan against such a move. So this is what is coming to fore as far as the stance that's in fact being projected by both Pakistan, the PCB, and also the ICC. The PCB in fact is pushing for a fusion formula. There you see, this is the version that's coming in from Pakistan, a fusion formula or a hybrid model for all future events by India. We do not understand what is this duplicacy that is coming in from Pakistan, particularly vis-a-vis matches that it's supposed to be playing against India, these fixtures. The first one that happens on February 15, that they are not wanting to go ahead and play. And at the same time, they're talking about a hybrid model. To that, the ICC is talking about an emergency board convening where the meeting is scheduled to take place in the next 48 hours over potential sanctions against Pakistan. So these are the punitive actions that ICC possibly is also mulling against Pakistan, and that is what we are looking at. And this is the big question. How far can the ICC really go when it is about penalizing Pakistan over the stance that they have chosen to take at the moment vis-a-vis the fixtures against India? My colleague Shivani Gupta will help us understand this better. She's joining me live from the CNN News 18 newsroom. Shivani, that remains the moot question. ICC and the stance that is possibly going to take against Pakistan.
Yes, I think time has come for the ICC to really draw the line as far as Pakistan's shenanigans is concerned. You know, this whole hybrid model that has been accommodated for Pakistan, I think that to begin with was really bending to Pakistan's whims. Pakistan had absolutely no reason or basis to claim that there was any security concern in India. They were just attempting a tit for tat because India doesn't travel to Pakistan when Pakistan is the host of an international multilateral event. But Pakistan and its ground realities cannot be compared to India and India's security situation. Pakistan has traveled to India in 2016, in 2023 for World Cups, and nothing has happened. In fact, many Indians would not have even realized that the Pakistan team has come and left. Right? So I think this accommodation of Pakistan, when it tries to kind of portray India as insecure or as problematic as Pakistan itself, where there have been terror attacks on visiting cricket teams, you know, that in itself has created this pathway. So now they have gone one step further by saying, oh, we'll play in the tournament even though it's happening in Sri Lanka, but we will not play against India because they want to take some moral high ground. They want to project solidarity with Bangladesh that was booted out of the tournament because at Pakistan's egging, they were also refusing to travel to India on security concerns. So I think this has gone on for far too long. Maybe Pakistan has given a handle to the ICC to finally say, okay, other member countries come together and say, you know, we can't be dealing with this every 2 years and everything. So I think ICC will indeed read out the Riot Act to the Pakistani board. Yes, there will be financial penalties because the India-Pakistan match is not going to happen as it stands, given Pakistan's call of boycotting that particular match. So obviously broadcasting revenue, ads revenue, tickets revenue, all of that is going to be forfeited by all parties concerned. Pakistan and PCB should certainly be made to pay for it. But I think beyond that also, there is an option in front of the ICC to say that, okay, we are not going to take this from our member countries. You better not play the World Cup itself. You can't come and play with some teams you like and teams you don't like. That's not how a sporting tournament happens. Either you withdraw completely or you play all your matches. And there should certainly be certain, going forward sanctions, reprimands, demerit points, etc. Whatever is available at the hands of the ICC in this case.
Right, do stay on, Shivani. Fair point that Shivani Gupta, my colleague, is putting across as far as this big story is concerned. We have our special guest who are also joining us this evening. Chaitanya Nanda, who is a former Indian cricketer, is with us, and also with us is Ms. Tara Karta, former director, NSCS. Now, Chaitanya, I'd first begin with you. There's a very interesting tweet that has been put out by the former Pakistani cricketer Shahid Afridi when he goes on to say, and I'm quoting from that tweet of his, "I've always believed cricket can open doors when politics closes them. Regrettably, Pakistan won't play India at the T20 World Cup, but I stand behind my government's decision." What do you make of this tweet?
It shows that, this tweet shows that he wants to say that they should continue playing against India, but because he is from Pakistan, he stays in Pakistan, and he has the pressure of the government also. So the tweet where he says he want to just give a message where he want to tell the government that they should continue this match, they should play the match because ICC when they give a place to any country, they have different agreements signed with them, and everything is signed with them where they say that you have to play like this. And I think this will harm a lot to Pakistan cricket, because the penalties they're gonna have, the penalties what ICC gonna put on them, it will be very, very gonna dent them very badly, because I think even the board can go into bankruptcy, because if you see, they get around last this cycle of cricket, they will get around 34.5 million dollars from ICC. And if they don't play this match, which is a World Cup match, India versus Pakistan, it's going to be huge problem for them. And I think I think Pakistan government thinking like, when they're gonna play against India, they're gonna get thrashed badly, and it will not give them any edge by playing against India. So by putting this, they are not playing against India. They are just trying to create something for them, which is not. There's nothing left for them in Pakistan for this government. So I think they are just trying to create. Market where they can say, see, we have not played against India, we have taken a stance, we are against India
Yeah.
and everything. So they are just trying to make this story up. So I think
Okay, this is the
every
same
Pakistan
Afridi who
cricketer,
put
they
out a
just
rather
want to play for
insinuating
India.
post when Operation Sindoor happened, and now he's suggesting that while we would want to go ahead and keep the gentleman's game alive, even play India, it's the government that doesn't really want us to do that, and I stand with the government. So it is again a duplicity that is coming out in this particular post as well. Tara, how do you see this stance and this sort of a posturing by Pakistan administration? What are they trying to achieve with this? Essentially, are they ready for that punitive action that is impending, that might just come from the ICC if it does go ahead and read the riot act against Pakistan, against PCB? Are they ready to, in fact, do away with that amount that one is looking at? And we're talking about not 1 or 2 crores. We're talking about to the tune of 200 crore rupees that it might end up losing.
Oh, that's a large amount for Pakistan officially. Unofficially, of course, it's got plenty of money. But I think, this whole this indecision and then trying to sort of decide at the last minute, I think there is probably a divide within the country as to what should be done. Because obviously these are Pakistanis are as, enthusiastic cricket players like the rest of us. And they would, as individuals, would like this to go ahead. On the other hand, Mohsin Naqvi yesterday was on TV blaming us for Balochistan. He was all that stuff was going on. He said this is obviously India's. I mean, come on, for years you've had a Baloch problem on your hands, and they immediately turned around and blame us. I think that could also be a factor in this whole internal decision making which is going on. Plus, as I said earlier, also they are determined this time to go ahead in Bangladesh to give Bangladesh every kind of support that it possibly can after a gap of more than 20 years. They finally got their foot in at the door. One interesting thing I noticed about Mohsin Naqvi is he was a CNN anchor himself, you know that, and he also has about 6 TV channels of his own now. So he's a very rich man. He suddenly got rich.
Brother-in-law of Asim Munir. That is also a point that we must mention.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I suppose he got rich. Post 2009, this man has become a billionaire. So I'm just wondering, I mean, if you've got TV channels of your own and he's got newspapers of his own, I would assume that he would want all the advertising revenue which comes in. But there is, like I said, it seems to me there is a division within their thing as to exactly how to do this. The Masim Munir faction clearly wants Bangladesh first. This is for them a huge opportunity, and they're using it to the hilt.
Because Tara, this is the repeat offence that's coming in from Pakistan. First, it happened during the Asia Cup. The trophy still remains elusive. It has not come into the rightful owners, that is India, because there is one man's ego that came in the way of himself handing over to the trophy to the Indian players, which the Indian players refused. They had won the match, and yet the trophy is not yet come. Do you think the ICC is going to be looking at all of those past instances as well, about how it is Pakistan who is trying to hold an entire game, a gentleman's game, and also in turn the ICC to ransom? A charge which rather laughably their defense minister is leveling against India.
Oh, he's very used to leveling allegations of all kinds. I mean, their defense minister is quite a well, he's quite a well-known in international circles for the things he says. But yes, I would assume the ICCC would certainly look into this as well, because I mean, how pathetic is that? I mean, someone wins a game. I mean, what are you doing? So the threat of this sanctions on them in terms of the money they lose, this, like you said very correctly, this is a lot for the Pakistan Cricket Board to absorb. So
Right,
that's
absolutely.
what I'm again saying. It seems like there's some confusion there within their so-called decision-making circles. I mean, it's I'm assuming it's not just Asim Munir's reading the riot act. It's what he wants in Bangladesh and what the cricket board wants to play. That's it's as simple as that.
Right, absolutely. So, Tara and also Chaitanya, do stay on with us. Let's in fact talk about the monetary losses that possibly is coming Pakistan's way. What is the price of this no play if Pakistan so chooses to stand by the statement that it has, or this declaration that it has made so far? Whether or not that official letter will be signed and sent out to the ICC is again the bigger question. But let's take out the money that is in fact involved. $500 million here are at stake, and we're talking about the total valuation of the match, which includes broadcast, ads, and the entire ecosystem. So this is the amount that is in fact at stake here, and also estimating the loss if India versus Pakistan is eventually cancelled. If we take a look at just that estimated advertising revenue that will be instantly lost if that game is not played, it is going up to the tune of 300 crores. So that 300 crores gets absolutely wiped out, and that is only the advertising revenue that one is talking about here. There is also this direct loss that is projected for the broadcaster alone, and that goes up to the tune of 200 plus crore rupees, and that will be a hit that will be taken by the broadcaster alone if that 15th February match between India and Pakistan is not played. Because remember, it's a marquee event as far as the T20 World Cup is concerned. Ad rates crash also is something that one must look at, is because the premium slots, the spots in fact, are at 40 lakh rupees per 10 seconds. You can see the money that's involved here, and that goes ahead and it becomes worthless inventory. So that is something that Pakistan will also have to weigh in on, and that is what the ICC also might be looking at, the kind of losses that they alone would not want to bear the brunt of, and they would want to in fact arm twist Pakistan on looking at these very punitive actions, and in fact asking Pakistan whether or not they are ready to pay that fine if at all eventually they do decide to dig their heel in the ground and say that they are not playing any matches with India. So I would want to understand this from you, in fact, Chaitanya, the fact that Pakistan has not yet officially put out that written confirmation, where do you think it's going with this entire argument? And we also have to in fact speak in the backdrop of the under-19, where Pakistan got this thrashing from India. That game was played. So why this selective outrage?
I think they were pinching the Bangladesh to take that bite that they don't want to, they should not play World Cup and everything. And as you know, I am a cricketer, I should not be talking about politics a lot, but what I see right now, this government has not left a lot of footing in the Pakistan right now. So just to create something new where they can say that we have taken a bold step, that we are not playing, we are not worrying about the money, we are just showing that we will not play against Pakistan, we are standing as a nation against something. So I think this what they are trying as a government to try to save themselves for the upcoming time. But as well, if you see as the amount you were saying, the losses which are going to be, which are going to be borne by ICC, but also this is not only ICC, this is not only India. Every country will bear these losses, because all this revenue goes to different boards in a different percentages. So I think Pakistan is only not doing this with India, it is also harming themselves with other nations as well. It will harm their cricket not only with India, it will harm them with every board which is playing cricket right now. I think they should think about, because what a government is saying to board to follow, if board follows that, he will be in trouble, because in upcoming bilateral series, other series, they will see this affect a lot. There will be a lot of ripples coming to it after this World Cup.
Right. And Tara, do you think this entire reason that's been cited by Pakistan of the boycott of Bangladesh, or Bangladesh not eventually playing the T20 World Cup, even though matches could have been shifted out, that really is not the real reason. It is just a smoke screen, or do you think it is Pakistan eventually standing in solidarity with Bangladesh? What do you think is happening here?
I think it is Pakistan standing in solidarity. I mean, they are prioritizing Bangladesh at a time when, their own internal security is in chaos, is in complete chaos. And there is a tendency, as like I said, of always blaming India. The huge rise in Pakistan Bangladesh ties, I think we have not taken adequate note of that. I mean, I'm sure the government has, but I'm saying in general discussions, the change is massive. You haven't seen this kind of Pakistan ships are going there all the time. Their entry, passport free entry, visa. I mean, sorry, not passport, visa free entry. Where earlier they had such tight restrictions on Pakistanis coming into the country, then they could never go there unless they'd been cleared. So this is a massive change, and for them, you remember Asim Munir saying repeatedly, "We will attack you from the east." He said that a couple of times. Don't underestimate what this guy says. What he says, he generally does. And he's on the back foot. Now more and more evidence is coming out saying that India won totally in Sindoor. He can no longer deny that fact that we got what our objectives. So he needs a little bit of, he's trying to pull up his own image in the country to say that we will not play India. But let's see how that pans out. You never know. I mean, the Pakistan public may not actually like this position at all. Let's see.
So, in fact, that big question still remains. Tara and Chaitanya, thank you so much for joining us. And this is what we are also asking, that is cricket really becoming a casualty, particularly the Pakistani cricket, over Pakistan's geopolitical interests vis-a-vis Bangladesh against India? And we'll continue to ask that and the other big questions associated with this decision of Pakistan. But right now, we are shifting our focus to our next big story. We're getting a breaking news that's coming in from the state of Karnataka. Shocking visuals that we are about to put out that show families being forced to carry patients at Hubli KIMS, and that has sparked an outrage over the lack of facilities at the hospitals. These are the visuals that we are putting out for our viewers on your screens there. Relatives can be seen carrying elderly patients in their arms and helping them into vehicles as stretchers and staff were unavailable. Now, despite KIMS being one of the largest hospitals in North Karnataka and also Hubli being the state's second largest city, families are alleging that even stretchers were in short supply, forcing many to fend for themselves. Families also complained of scanning facilities being unavailable, forcing them to take patients elsewhere, and they even said that ambulance shortages had pushed them to rely on private ambulances. This is the state of affairs of one of the largest hospitals there in Karnataka, and particularly Hubli. We are talking about KIMS, and this is the situation there. There you see the visuals, how the kin of the patients are having to carry them in private vehicles, and this is what we are looking at when it is about hospitals in the state of Karnataka. My colleague Afreen Hussain with all of those details. Afreen, distressing visuals. No family should have to go through this. Already they are dealing with a patient who is not well, some of them with really, really bad injuries for that matter, or somebody with bad ailments. And this is how the hospital really treats them. They don't even have adequate facilities to, in fact, assist the patients and their kin.
Well, absolutely, Griha. Very disturbing scenes that have emerged from Kim's hospital in Hubli, where family members are being forced to physically lift and carry patients into the hospital due to a lack of stretchers and also due to a shortage of basic facilities. You can see in the visuals that relatives were seen carrying patients in their arms and helping them into vehicles as stretchers, and staff were unavailable. Now, this is something that the families that have gone to Kim have said, despite Kim's being the largest hospital in North Karnataka and also Hubli being the second largest city in Karnataka. This is the situation of a government-run hospital. Now, families have alleged that even stretchers were unavailable, forcing many to carry patients inside. Now, it becomes a problem when you're trying to carry somebody with serious injuries, trying to carry patients who are elderly, carrying children who have, injuries
Absolutely.
on them, or any serious ailment somebody is suffering from. It becomes really difficult for them. Now, families have also complained that facilities like scanning is not available in the hospital, despite it being one of the largest hospitals that is, meant to serve the entire North Karnataka region. Now, anger is mounting among the public. Allegations of negligence also have come out against the hospital staff. And families are questioning how such a big government-run hospital, which is, meant to serve the entire North Karnataka, does not have basic facilities like staff available to carry patients or even stretchers for that matter.
What is the health minister in the state really saying? What is Mr. Gundu Rao saying about this?
Well, as of now, there's no response from the Congress. It remains to be seen how they're going to take this forward. What is going to be their response? That is something that we'll look out for.
Right, so far silence from the Congress's camp. This is a Congress government in the state of Karnataka. Siddaramaiah, his deputy Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, his health minister Dinesh Gunduram, all of them are in fact rather silent in the face of this apathy that one speaks of. On the one hand, we have already seen an accident which has resulted in the loss of life of a 9-year-old student. On the other, we're talking about one of the biggest hospitals in North Karnataka, in Hubli, and this is the state of affairs in KIMS. Afreen, when you had spoken to the hospital authorities or the people there, what have they said about these shortages that the families are speaking about?
Well, Griha, there's no response from the authorities' end as well. We will have to wait and see. We'll have to talk to the Congress government here, talk to the ministers responsible, the district ministers in charge, and get to know what exactly is the situation and why is there a shortage of staff at the hospital that is being run by the government that is meant to serve the second largest city in Karnataka. And also, it is one of the biggest hospitals that is meant to serve the entire North Karnataka region. Now, a shortage of staff and basic facilities like stretchers is something that is unacceptable. We'll have to wait and see what the Congress government here in Karnataka responds to all these allegations.
So far, no response even from the hospital authorities. Clearly, this is giving the opposition a lot of ammunition to go ahead and target once again the Siddaramaiah administration in Karnataka. Anything that the BJP there is saying?
Well, absolutely. The BJP has gone all guns blazing at the Congress government for the lack of facilities that are being provided at this government-run hospital. They've gone on and alleged that this is the situation. Every time the Congress comes in power, there is no basic facilities available for the people. The government openly goes on to say that they have a fund crunch going on. Now, these are some of the allegations that the BJP has made that,
Right,
that the government.
In fact, we were just talking to you about a BJP reaction. We have Mr. Ashok Gowda of the Bharatiya Janata Party now joining us. Afreen, do stay on with us. Mr. Gowda, the state of apathy is immense. We are talking about one of the largest hospitals in Karnataka, the KIMS hospital, and this is the state of affairs. No stretchers, no guidance, no staff to cater to and tend to the ailing patients.
Absolutely, yes. This is the mess which has been created by the Congress government, and this Congress government constantly has put Kannadigas in the pressure because they are not able to pay the salaries for the staff in hospitals and other places, as well as there is no basic infrastructure like stretchers or even ambulances. Ambulances, please let us recall that ambulances service has been completely withdrawn. 108 ambulance service, which was started by the BJP government during Yediyurappa as a CM, has been completely withdrawn, and they are all standing standstill, and nothing has been happening there also. And it is not just this. We have seen that more than 950 women deaths have happened because of the maternal thing. And believe me or not, there are 15 schemes announced by the central government where central government completely funds the schemes. But this state government has underutilized the same thing. In 13 of them, zero utilization. In 2 of them, utilization is only less than 15 to 16%. So this is the state of affairs. Because administration, they don't have anything called administration. Our health minister is busy in 7-star and 5-star hotels, enjoying his life, and his PS controls the entire department. There is a corruption, and his wife seems to be having the full control and the full faith in him, and that is why this is all happening. And they don't they're just not bothered. And every time in the house, they come and say that yeah, we did this, we did that. And only on the paper, But on the literally development in terms of the, I happen to go to one of the largest hospital, like Davangere Hospital. And believe me or not, there is absolutely no toilets. Toilets are stinking even for the patient and even for the doctor. And when this is the case, imagine that, what is happening across
Absolutely. This is
the
basic. We're talking about healthcare over here. The least that any government in a state can do in sit up and take notice. We don't have to coax them for answers, and that is the least that one can expect of a government that is claiming to be running a state like Karnataka. Mr. Gaura, thank you so much for joining us. We are not done with Karnataka. The civic apathy continues, and this time in the IT capital, Bengaluru. That has gone on to claim yet another young life. We are talking about a young boy, as young as just 14-year-old. He was a class 10 student. He, in fact, died after falling into an uncovered waterboard concrete sump in Bengaluru South. This incident has left his family devastated and angry. The boy has been missing. He had been missing since the 29th of January, after which his family filed a complaint. Their worst fears came true on the 1st of February, when a foul smell led the locals to an open chamber near the pipeline of the Kanakpura road, where the Bengaluru water body's work had earlier been carried out. The sump had been left uncovered despite posing an obvious risk. While the water board officials claim that they were unaware the cover was open, the family alleges indifference as far as the authorities are concerned, even as they pleaded for help.
I'm here at Tatguni in Bengaluru South Taluk, where an uncovered concrete chamber that's right here has claimed the life of a 14-year-old boy, triggering serious allegations of negligence against the Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board. The victim, Preetham, a class 9 student, had been missing for 3 to 5 days, with an FIR registered at the Kagalipura police station on January 29th. On the evening of February 1st, people here, locals here, found his body floating in this particular sump that belongs to the BWSSB. When a foul smell started coming from this pipeline work site of Kanakpura Road, family members came here, and that's when they found Preetham's body floating here. The body was recovered on February 1st at around 5 p.m. and has left the family devastated. Relatives have alleged that the sump, measuring about 40 feet in length and 12 feet in width, had been left uncovered despite being a clear safety hazard. The BWSSB officials, however, told that the work that has been going on here was completed long ago, and they have claimed that they were unaware that this particular sump had been left uncovered. They have said an inquiry would be conducted to find out who opened the cover or why this cover was not put in the first place. The BWSSB officials have not come to the spot to visit this place where this incident happened. However, one more thing that remains unclear is why did the boy come here? This is a pretty deserted area, as you can see. There is not much motion, there is not much footfall here, people are not traveling here, and it also is being said that the boy's house is around 1.5 to 2 kilometers from this place. So it is unclear why the boy came here, how he fell down. All of these are questions that are still unanswered as of now.
ಅಕ್ಕ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ತಿಂಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲಸದಿಂದ ಬಂದೆ 6 ಗಂಟೆಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವನು ಟಿವಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. 5 ದಿವಸ ಆಗೈತೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ, ಯಾರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಸಿ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಕನಕಪುರ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದವ್ರೆ. ನೀವೇ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವೇ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತವ್ರೆ. ನಾವು 1ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ.
And my colleague Afreen Hussain is now joining us on the broadcast on this story as well. She continues to be with us. Afreen, we're just listening to your ground report. You speak about how the sump is about 40 meters deep, you said. That's a huge, that's a long sort of a open area that was left uncovered. So clearly the authorities need to do a lot of answering here.
Well, absolutely, Griha. This is a sump that is about 8 feet deep. When we went there at the spot, this is what we got to know, that it's about 8 to 9 feet deep. And this boy has gone near there and he's fallen inside and he's drowned most probably. And his body was found floating on February 1st at around 5 p.m. when locals started getting foul smell from the open sump. And that's when they called the family members who had been looking for the child everywhere, and they were not able to find him. And that's when they found the body inside. the child who's identified as Preetham. His body was found, and the family has alleged negligence on part of the civic agency, that is the BWSSB, who has left the sump uncovered, and also on part of the police. They went to file a complaint on January 28th, but the police asked them to come back later tomorrow on January 29th, and that's when they finally registered a missing complaint. The police even asked the family to go look for the child themselves, since the officers were not present at the police station. Now, this is the kind of allegations that the family has made against the police as well as the BWSSB, who's left the sump uncovered. It's a very big safety hazard that is there. And the family has also alleged that they had previously complained about this, but the BWSSB contrarily say that they did not receive any complaints as such. Finally, after this incident, the BWSSB has also said that they're going to conduct an inquiry and find out why that sump was left uncovered. From what they know, the sump was covered until January 10th. Now, that is the evidence that they have, that it was covered until January 10th, but later after that, the sump had no cover. They're going to conduct an inquiry and probe what exactly happened. How did the cover of the sump go off? These are some of the things that the BWSSB are going to address.
Right, Afreen, thank you so much for all of those details. There are big questions that still remain unanswered. We'll continue to track all the developments of this really a pathetic story that's coming in from Bengaluru. We're talking about a 9-year-old, in fact, a 9th standard student who's died, a 14-year-old boy who apparently fell in that sump and lost his life, and his body was only recovered a few days later. We go into a very short break with that.
You've heard the budget. Now, understand its impact. Hear it directly from the architect of the budget. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's first interview post-budget with Editor-in-Chief Rahul Joshi. News 18 Network exclusive. Tonight at 8, the FM interview across the News 18 Network. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
And now let's put out the big reaction that's coming from Melinda Gates. She's revealed that her divorce from Bill Gates was driven in part by his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Speaking in an interview, Melinda said she was deeply disturbed by Bill Gates' meetings with Epstein and made her objections clear at that time. She also said she herself met Epstein once, only to immediately regret it. Listen in.
But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. So, you know, my heart breaks for these young women because that's how I felt. And here I'm an older woman. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It's awful.
I do want to bring in CNN News 18's Akanksha Swaroop into the conversation. Akanksha, as is the allegations against Donald Trump of the latest Epstein Files has become a big headline, and these back-to-back reactions from people who've known these big political figures, these big celebrity figures, all in all, including Melinda Gates now, only goes on to explain how grave these allegations are and how bigger this could turn out to be in days to come.
Absolutely, and more importantly, Christine, this is going to be a huge blemish to the reputation of Bill Gates, who's, as we all know, is not just a tech billionaire, but is somebody who's also running a foundation. And when his own wife, in fact, goes on to talk about how this was something that actually caused the divorce between the two of them, and it was Bill Gates' own association with Jeffrey Epstein that brought her so much of, that caused so much disturbance in their marriage, it's bound to have an impact. And as we all know, the Justice Department has released more than 3 million pages of documents with over 2,000 videos, around 18,000 images. And Gates' own sexual contact with Russian girls that he attempted to hide, even the fact that he was, actually suffering from a sexually transmitted disease. He, according to Melinda Gates, tried to hide it from Melinda Gates. Allegations have gone against Bill Clinton and even Prince Andrew. But I think the most shocking part is going to be now how this is going to taint the image of all of them, particularly Bill Gates. And as Melinda Gates has revealed that her divorce from the Microsoft co-founder was driven in part because of his own association with Jeffrey Epstein, the sex offender. And, there's much that has already been offered in this interview that we've just now played out. And she has openly admitted that she was deeply disturbed by his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, the meetings with Epstein, and she had even made her objections clear at the time. So now everybody is now privy to the fact that what actually led to that divorce. She said she herself had met Epstein once only to immediately regret it.
Yeah.
And that's just extremely shocking. And we'll have to see if Bill Gates has anything to offer in his defense. But it's already a very weakened case at the moment.
Apart from this, Akanksha, the fresh cache of Epstein Files has also reignited a controversy around President Donald Trump. Any clarification that's come in from the Trump administration's officials? What have we heard so far? Because they point to explosive claims of rape and even a murder.
Right, and this is bound to actually escalate further, as we all know. But all I can say is that these powerful men that have actually been mentioned, including Donald Trump's name, they all say that Trump claims that the documents actually absolve him, as the top DOJ says that the review is actually over, and he's claimed that the latest release of the files from the investigation will absolve him, and because they'll now get down to actually investigating. And the Department of Justice has played down the possibility of any additional criminal charges. So we'll have to see what he has to offer to that. But one thing is amply evident, that all the correspondence that has taken place, say, between these high personalities like Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, even Bill Clinton to an extent, is all indicative of the fact that they were offered girls and they were in some kind of a sexual contact. And even as much as Donald Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing and has never been accused of a crime linked with Epstein, he will have a lot of answering to do. He, remember, is mentioned in more than 3,000 times in the latest files screen. And the inclusion does not suggest any wrongdoing. That is what Donald Trump's team has had to say. But the DOJ says some documents contained untrue and sensational claims against Trump. So you could very well expect Donald Trump's team to, in fact, just call it a hoax or a pack of lies. And he's already gone on to say that I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some important people that not only does it absolve him, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left. So he's
and expect more
it.
such clarifications, Akanksha, isn't it? Thank you for joining us with those details. More skeletons tumbling out of the closet, but these are shocking details that continue to emerge. Shifting our focus to another daylight robbery incident.
Yes. The fact that they are not letting me speak. The fact that they are not letting me speak.
Hello and welcome back to The Nation at 5. Let's also now talk about the state of Karnataka, where there is a new directive that has come up by the Directorate of Urdu and Other Minority Language Schools. The period of closure of Urdu medium junior primary and secondary primary schools in the state during the month of Ramzan will be now extended from 8 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. for a period of 1 month from the date of commencement of the holy month of Ramzan. The standing order that's dated 31st of October 2002 has been extended, and this is what it reads. I'm quoting: details of the change in the school term schedule of all government-aided and unaided Urdu medium junior, senior and high schools in the state for the academic year 2025-26 from the date of commencement of the month of Ramadan till 20th March 2026 only. Education Department sources are also suggesting that this is not a new order. 2002 standing instructions have only been reiterated.
Anything else they want to speak apart from this? Anything else they have got any other things? They have got so much larger issue. Let them speak about the Iran. Why we come out from the Iran port issue? Huh? Chabara port we came out, no? For what? It is not a bigger issue. They want only Urdu, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Musliman. Apart from this, please, it's high time, let them grow. Who is giving 50 rupees a litre of diesel now? In India, we are selling at more than 100 rupees. So who is being appeasement now?
Now in Karnataka, they are saying the schools will have special timings during Ramazan. Okay, but have you made such concession during Hindu festival? You are saying that the teachers and staff can leave early on Ramazan, but is the same thing allowed during Navratra? So it shows that Congress party, for it karo Hindu astha ka apman and treat vote bank as their dukan, this has become their only pehchan, and therefore they always put one vote bank first. They do not have the vision of doing things fairly and equally as per constitution for everybody. They make special exceptions, and this has been seen in Karnataka over and over again.
इमरान मसूद जी, खबर ये आ रही है कि कर्नाटका के कुछ उर्दू के स्कूल्स हैं जिन पे रमजान के टाइम पे बदला जा रहा है स्कूल की टाइमिंग।
अगर उन स्कूल के अंदर केवल मुसलमान बच्चे तालीम हासिल कर रहे हैं तो उनके हिसाब से स्कूल के टाइमिंग कर देंगे तो उसमें हर्ज क्या है, अगर दूसरे बच्चे नहीं हैं उसके अंदर।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कहना है कि सरकारी तंत्र में ऐसे धर्म के बेसिस पे चेंजेस नहीं होने
चाहिए। हम गिनवा देंगे बहुत सारी चीजें, आपको ऐसी बातें मत करिए, आप ऐसी बातें मत करिए। और इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं हो रहा है। रमजान का टाइम है, टाइमिंग के हिसाब से वो चेंज कर रहे हैं, तो इसके अलावा क्या है? अगर उसमें कोई दूसरा बच्चा पढ़ ही नहीं रहा है,
पर अगर उसमें कोई और बच्चा पढ़ रहा हो तो
बिल्कुल फिर नहीं होना चाहिए।
फिर नहीं होना चाहिए।
हाँ, फिर नहीं होना चाहिए, फिर उसको देखना चाहिए। लेकिन पढ़ नहीं रहा है, मुझे पता है कि पढ़ नहीं रहा।
Let me take this across to Afreen Hussain, who continues to be with us. Afreen, the government goes on to clarify that this is not part of any new directive. It is already being mentioned as far as a standing order in the year 2002 is concerned. The government was only reiterating it as part of this new circular that announces the same ahead of Ramzan.
Well, absolutely, Griha. School timings have been revised during the month of Ramzan, and this order has been in since 2002. Every year during the month of Ramzan, the school timings at Urdu language schools are changed from 8 a.m. to 12:45 p.m. for the fasting month, so that the students as well as the teachers can go on and follow the procedures for the fasting during the month of Ramzan. Now, this is not something that is new. This happens every year, and as mentioned, this is in force since 2002, and every year the government goes on and announces this via a circular that the timings will be changed, and this is only in for the month of Ramzan, after which the timings go back to the normal ones. In case of aided and unaided schools, instructions have been issued to relieve students and teachers half an hour or 30 minutes earlier than the regular closing. And this decision has been taken by the government, keeping in mind the observance of the month of Ramzan.
Right, Afreen, thank you so much for that information. Let's take a look at the reactions that are coming in.
This direction by the Karnataka government to reduce the timing for Urdu schools in the wake of Ramzan, how do you see this?
No, always they think about the minorities and appeasement politics. So many religious festivals are there for the Hindus. They are not thinking about reducing the timing of the schools for the Hindus students. They are thinking about only students of the Urdu. being as a Muslims, they want more concession. And what you have to, government has to think, and the education department has to think about the education of the students, how the timings. Timing is generous to everybody. There should not be any discrimination for reducing for the Muslim students. It is completely, it is only appeasement politics. Again, Karnataka government, CM and DCM, everybody, one again, they are appeasement politics and wants Muslims vote. If rules is there for all the festivals, all the religious, it is applicable to all the religions, not only for the.
And while the reactions continue to pour in, we go into a very, very short break. News and updates continue on the broadcast.
You've heard the budget. Now, understand its impact. Hear it directly from the architect of the budget. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's first interview post-budget with Editor-in-Chief Rahul Joshi. News 18 Network exclusive. Tonight at 8, the FM interview across the News 18 Network. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The fact that they are not letting me speak, means it is uncomfortable for them. Now, I would like to explain in a little bit of detail what this issue of national security exactly was. Okay? Rajnath ji is sitting here. Rajnath Singh ji, sir, please. Rajnath Singh ji is sitting here. He is aware of this matter. He is the minister. He is the person that spoke to General Naravane.
फिर आपने बोली नहीं, अब आप नहीं बोलना चाहते हैं, सब नहीं बोलना। सभा की कार्रवाई कल मंगलवार दिनांक 3 फरवरी 2026 को प्रातः 11 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
So clearly, as you can see, Rahul Gandhi continues to hammer the point home, saying that the Modi government has completely bungled the China policy, raising the Galwan issue, and an unpublished memoir related to former Army Chief General Naravane. That is the big showdown that is emerging from inside Parliament. Rahul Gandhi has been censured by the Speaker to not raise this matter because the Speaker has made a ruling on this entire matter, given the fact that this was an unpublished memoir. And the NDA has asked Rahul Gandhi to give some verified source before making these claims inside Parliament. Even though the chairperson pulled up Rahul Gandhi continues to hammer this point home, claiming that the central government under Prime Minister Modi has jeopardized national security when it comes to China. That is the big development that's coming in, and now Lok Sabha has been adjourned to tomorrow. But the Raksha Mantri as well as Amit Shah have raised the point that Rahul Gandhi is misleading the nation from inside Parliament. The Congress party, on the other hand, saying that the leader of the opposition is not being allowed to speak and raise these points inside the House. I'm joined by my colleague Arunima on the broadcast. So Arunima, despite the fact check that's coming in from the central government saying that these are unverified sources and this is an unpublished memoir, these details need to be verified before any statement is made in the House, Rahul Gandhi continues to hammer that point.
Yes, Rahul Gandhi is adamant. He says, and this was the last thing that he said, that the very fact that they're not letting me speak means that the issue that I'm raising is making the Prime Minister and the Raksha Mantri uncomfortable. And then the next line that he said before Jagdambika Pal, who was in the chair, adjourned the House for the day, he began by started saying that Raksha Mantri is here in the House and he met General Naravane. So he's continuing to emphasize that the points that he was making earlier in the day, he had made this allegation, something that the government rejected as baseless, but he made this charge that on the Kailash Ridge, 4 Chinese tanks had managed to come up. And he said that on this matter, General Naravane has spoken. But of course, what the Treasury is repeatedly pointing out, and senior ministers, the Minister in charge, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh, Second in Command, Home Minister Amit Shah, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, and the Prime Minister himself was seated for almost an hour while this melee was going on. So the entire top leadership of the government was trying to point out that the facts, as Rahul Gandhi is claiming, are not verified, not substantiated. Parliamentary procedures are very clear that you have to put things, authenticated. You have to authenticate them. And since these are not authenticated, there is a problem. But Rahul Gandhi is adamant, as I'm speaking to you, he's just scheduled to come out and speak to the media. There is a possibility that he will reiterate that tomorrow when the House reconvenes, he'll once again try and make the same charge.
Right, but Arunima, he's shooting off the shoulders of General Naravane, trying to make this huge point that these Chinese tanks entered into Indian territory on the Kailash track. I'm also joined by Pallavi Ghosh on the broadcast. So Pallavi, clearly the China chapter has been reopened once again by Rahul Gandhi, trying to make these claims. The government is very adamant about the fact that this is an unverified source. This is information that has not been vetted. But at the same time, Rahul Gandhi choosing to shoot from the shoulders of the former army chief.
So let's understand why Rahul Gandhi is doing it. Because Rahul Gandhi feels that there's one issue which he thinks can put the government into a bit of a dock, is to project it as a weak government, whether it comes to negotiations with America. I mean, look at the kind of posts which are being put out by many in the Congress party. They are saying that whenever you want to know anything about the trade tariff, about other issues, for example, the ceasefire between Pakistan and India, it's always been from a third party source, and it's usually been from Donald Trump. So what is it that the Congress party is trying to do? The Congress party is trying to project this government as something which is extremely weak. And Rahul Gandhi is obviously in sync with his party line. Look at his statements through the day. Ever since he got up to speak around 1:15 to 1:30 p.m., he said, we have repeatedly been called as anti-national, that we don't care about the armed forces. I'm trying to rebut that, and that's the reason why he's picking up on the Naravane manuscript, where he knows the rules. The rules are very clear. You cannot hold posters, you cannot hold banners on the floor of the House. You cannot quote from any books or articles as well, and certainly not ones which have not been published. And therefore, despite knowing that, Rahul Gandhi is goading, he's provoking the government. He knows the House will be adjourned. He knows he's not going to get a chance to speak. He's coming back repeatedly making this point. So clearly his strategy is to project the Prime Minister as being a weak Prime Minister who could not stand up and show the lal aankh, to quote the Congress party, to the Chinese, or whether it comes to Pakistan as well.
Right, thank you Arunima and Pallavi for decoding that for us. So the political storm is only escalating over this entire matter. Question also remains, will this entire storm now draw out General Naravane once again to set the record straight over this statement that Rahul Gandhi is claiming has come in from him? Let's listen into more reactions coming in.
Karti, you are also an MP, not once, twice over, if I'm not mistaken. You know the rules. You cannot quote from a book. You cannot show banners and posters. What the speaker is saying is, we have repeatedly appealing to you, let the House run.
Obviously, there are lots of truths in the autobiography of General Naravane.
No.
There are obviously truths which the government doesn't want the nation to know about. It clearly exposes their lack of leadership, their failure in leadership, which they want to suppress.
Karti, fair point, but he began and he mentioned that he could have moved.
This is a ridiculous
But you're not.
argument.
It's not even published.
It is published. I mean, if somebody, do I have to only publish a book?
जो राहुल गांधी ने आज हाउस में किया उसको आप कैसे देखते हैं? लगातार रक्षा मंत्री कहते रहे कि वो जो बुक कोट करे वो पब्लिश ही नहीं हुआ।
पहले तो राहुल जी को सुनने के लिए ऑपरेशनल लीडर एज कितना सम्मान लिया। प्राइम मिनिस्टर खुद आए, खुद डिफेंस मिनिस्टर राजनाथ जी आए, लीडर ऑफ हाउस, दूसरी अमित शाह जी और बाकी तमाम लीडर राहुल गांधी जी को सुनने आए थे एज ए ऑपोजिशन हेल्दी लेवल। बट राहुल गांधी जी बिल्कुल, जो स्पीकर साहब ने भी रूल दे दिया भी आप किसी जो बुक में से पढ़ के बताना चाहते थे चाइना की बात, वो कहीं बुक छपी नहीं, किसी ने छापी नहीं। अगर वो बुक छपी होती तो वो भी परमिशन मिलती, लेकिन वो सीधा देश, प्राइम मिनिस्टर और रक्षा मंत्री, जो कितना सेंसिटिव बात है, उससे कहीं ना कहीं उनकी इमेज को, हमारी देश को, हमारी देश की फौज को, एयरफोर्स को, नेवी को कहीं ना कहीं वो दुनिया के सामने उसको बदनाम करना चाह रहे थे। तो इससे कंट्री का बॉर्डर पे फोर्सेस खड़ी हैं, उनको कितना बड़ा उनके ऊपर असर पड़ सकता था, इसलिए बार बार सब रोक रहे थे। सिर्फ ये चिंता की बात थी, पर वो कहीं ना कहीं ये बात करने के लिए देश को तोड़ने के, और जो बात करते हैं हम देश को कमजोर करने की, वो उस बात में लगे हुए हैं।
And whatever inside that book, they started to, Rajnath Singh ji started to.
Yeah, Arun said that book has not been published, so the rule is being violated.
No, rule is not violated. Nobody has quoted that. Then Rahul ji told things that I am not quoting that book. Then Rahul ji told things that there is a synopsis, it is out in magazine, a Caravan magazine. I wanted to say about that. That also.
These are the words of Army Chief, serious leader of our forces, and it's a conversation that.
Welcome back. Political tensions escalated in the state of Andhra Pradesh after the houses of two former YSRCP ministers, Ambati Rambabu and Jogi Ramesh, were attacked on consecutive days. A day after Rambabu's residence in Guntur was vandalized by an alleged mob of TDP supporters following his remarks against Chief Minister Naidu, the house of former Minister Jogi Ramesh in Krishna district was allegedly attacked and set on fire. Police rushed to both the locations, detained several people and deployed heavy security to prevent further violence. YSRCP has alleged that attacks were coordinated and politically motivated, involving hundreds of TDP supporters.
Andhra Pradesh is now clearly collapsing into an open jungle Raj. And the back-to-back attacks on Mr. Ambati Rambabu's house just yesterday, within hours now we see Mr. Jogi Ramesh, who is ex-minister, very senior leader of YSRCP, whom has been burnt live. This shows a very clear and organized campaign of political terror under Mr. Naidu's leadership and Mr. Lokesh's execution. And for sure, this is not random incidents. The whole violence, the assaults are happening to pressurize or to silence the leadership of YSR Congress Party. Mr. Naidu is using people's mandate as a weapon to crush and to terrorize the YSRCP's cadre. Enough sense of urgency needs to be created, and we need central intervention, otherwise things would go out of control in the state.
Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. They say politics should not be mixed with sports, but reality is seldom so simple. Politics is part of everyday life and it cannot be separated from other